everybody. I love our YouTube family. Good to see you guys. Good to talk to you. Today we're talking about a really important topic, which is how to quit your job. We spend a lot of time on the Intern Queen YouTube channel talking about how to get a job, how to nail the interview. But what about the other side of that? What about when it's time to leave? How do you handle it? And that's what we're gonna get into today. I feel like our YouTube audience may know this, may not, but we did launch a podcast featuring myself and all of these really cool experts that work for other companies that I sort of bring in and have these real life workplace conversations with. The podcast is called Get It Together, just like the book, and we actually just did an episode on the podcast called How to Quit Your Job, and it's with myself and a recruiter from BuzzFeed. And I know a lot of you guys want to work for BuzzFeed, so I thought you would like that. So watch this video and then make sure that you listen to the podcast, because that's just a deeper conversation. It's probably about 30 to 45 minutes long. You can listen to it in your car, when you're walking somewhere, wherever you want, and we'll make sure to link that below. So before I get into this advice, I just want to remind you guys that it is okay to leave a job, and there's a way to do it that really works for both you and the company that you're leaving. Okay. Number one, this is an old rule, give a 2-week notice. Maybe you talk to your employer and they don't even want a 2-week notice. Okay, well at least you tried. I've had people give a 3-month notice because they know that they're moving from California back to Denver or from somewhere back to Austin, Texas. As much time as you can to help the company prepare is wonderful. Tip number 2, have a conversation in person. It's like breaking up with a guy over text. Just sit down with whoever your direct supervisor is, whoever you would have that conversation with, right? Do it in person, follow up with a kind email, and that way you have it formally written in writing, and it is what it is. If you're leaving on positive terms, make sure you really express that to the employer, and I would encourage you guys to think about the good things. It's really easy to get caught up in sort of the day-to-day minutia of it all. I would say focus on the good if you can, and try to have a really positive conversation. It's a really long career, so I think the more positive relationships you have around you and the more supportive people in your network, the better. Number 4, try to participate in an exit interview. One of the best things that you can do for a company when you leave is to give them feedback of what you recommend they do differently or try in the future. It's great if you can sort of echo back to them your positive, and if you had any negative experiences, talk about that too with the company. Number 5, be mindful of when you're leaving the company. Now look, we've all been in that situation where you're in the middle of busy season at your company and you get another opportunity and you gotta do you, right? And I think everyone has a level of respect for that, whether we agree with that or not, right? Like sometimes you just gotta do you and you can't worry about what's going on with your current company. If you have any flexibility, I would encourage you to think about sort of the time at that company and when you're leaving. So for example, if there's a huge event that you're responsible for putting on for a company next week, I would try not to quit like that week, right? I would try to wait until that event's over, and then I would have that conversation. But again, sometimes you can do that, sometimes you can't. I think being mindful is key. Number 6, tie up any current projects. You don't want to leave your position a mess, right? You don't want to be that person that 5 years down the road, it's like, oh, well, Sydney just left her desk so unorganized and we still haven't been able to recover, right? Try to organize your projects, tie up any loose ends so that someone else can come in and pick right back up for you. Make it a point to keep up and continue any meaningful relationships. So if you have a great relationship with your team, keep it up. We have people that used to work here and they'll watch what we do and they'll text me and they'll tell me they like this or they like that. And that's like the ultimate compliment because they know what it's like to be here on the daily grind. So I really appreciate when former employees stay in touch, and it doesn't matter how they left, as long as it was on good terms. I'm so happy to hear from them. And then I would just remind you guys that being honest and professional throughout this process is really important. Be as transparent as you can, right? You don't have to tell someone everything, but try to be honest, professional, transparent, and I think that respect is sort of appreciated and will hopefully be reciprocated. And finally, stay connected, guys. It's a long, long career, right? A lot of us work in our in our lifetime for many, many years, and who knows where you're gonna be, where the company is gonna be 5-10 years from now. So stay in touch, you never know what's gonna happen. Quitting a job doesn't have to be all that bad.